In this video, we'll explore how to win at Aviator using the pattern recognition strategy, possibly one of the best Aviator strategies, which in this session allow me to double my balance in just a few minutes. We'll look at the pros and cons of this strategy throughout the video, and determine whether it's truly possible to consistently win with this strategy. Welcome to Ninja Gamblers, the ultimate destination for quality casino content. Here you can find the latest info and strategies for roulette, blackjack, poker, slots, and more. If you want to stay ahead of the game and be best equipped to try and beat the casinos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. In the link in the description of this video, you can also find a link to our Telegram channel, where we share extra content that never makes it to YouTube. And you can also find a list of safe licensed casinos we recommend, with free money bonuses that they offer. Alright folks, today we're diving into a session of Aviator, the game that has taken the world by storm with its insane multipliers. And because it's a game that can really make a player win insane multipliers, sometimes even over 300 times their initial bet, I'll be explaining and demonstrating the pattern recognition method in practice, which we've used in the past but never detailed fully. Now, where can you find Aviator? It's become quite popular, and several online casinos now feature it, but not all of them yet. I've marked all the ones hosting Aviator on my list, so you can easily check out which ones have it. What list? I hear you say. The list of certified casinos I always keep updated, which you can find at the link in the description. As usual, I must quickly warn you about playing in unlicensed online casinos, which can lead to legal and financial problems. Engaging in such casinos can be illegal in some places, and may expose you to scams, rigged games, and loss of money. These casinos often operate from tax havens and can vanish, leaving you with no way to retrieve your funds. We strongly suggest that you only play in certified online casinos, licensed by reputable agencies. You'll find a list of safe and verified casinos in your country in the video description below, many of which offer free bonuses to new players. For a secure gaming experience, stick to these trustworthy brands. For our American friends out there, each US state has different regulations regarding what online casinos are legal and what are not, and some states only accept social casinos. For your peace of mind, in the link in the description, you can find what online casinos are legal in your state. As I'm currently in Europe, I will play in a European casino with euros, but obviously, this method can be done with any currency: dollars, pounds, euros, or anything else. Just make sure you're in a safe casino that is legal in your country, okay? Let's get started. Alright, let's briefly go over the basics for those unfamiliar with the game. The airplane lifts off, increasing the multiplier exponentially. We can exit at any time, taking home the multiplier at that moment. However, at a certain point, the plane flies away, and if we haven't cashed out, we lose not only the potential winnings, but also our initial bet. In this round, I exit quite quickly, and snag a 1.52 times multiplier. Since I've wagered €5, I take home €7.60, boosting my balance to €77.60 from a starting point of 75. So essentially, a profit of €2.60. As you saw, the plane flew away at 2.80 times, so we could have stayed in and made up to €14 in profit, but if we stayed any longer, we'd lose our €5. Darn, this time the plane flew off right away, a 1.21 times, and since I didn't exit sooner, I lost my bet. Let's go again. Now I'm upping my bet to €10. Here I can choose two preset bets that I've arranged for myself, and in my case, I've selected a 5 and a 10. I'll tell you why later, but in reality, it can be anything, starting from 10 cents. Okay, this time we're staying in a bit longer. We wait, a bit longer, and we exit, securing a nice 2.75 times. Jackpot! We've made €27.50, and so I've quickly risen to the balance of €85. True, I could have stayed in longer, look at the multiplier still climbing. But that's the thing, you never know when the plane will fly away. My goodness guys, look at how high it goes. The beauty of this game, as I always say, is having to balance playing it safe, exiting as early as possible with a small win, and the desire to dare and stay in to try and hit super multipliers. Darn it, this time the multiplier reached 27.89 times. We could have made €280 in one go guys. Eh well, that's life. Let's make another bet of €10. Again, we stay in long enough, but not too long. Waiting some more, and we exit. Got a nice 2.47 times, so €24.70 in the bag. We're almost at a balance of €100, and meanwhile, the multiplier continues to rise as expected. Haha, it's always like this with this game. You always kick yourself for not staying in longer. This time it was quite high again. Okay, this time let's bet €5. Okay, let me explain the pattern recognition method. The basic idea is that Aviator inflates and deflates, meaning after many small multipliers come out, a big one is due, and if there have been big ones, expect some small ones next. Just like in this case, it stopped at 1.15 times and thus I lost as I didn't exit in time. So next time, we'll exit right away. Got a small 1.23 times, but it's still money, and it's safer since a few high multipliers have come out, so it seems the game still needs to deflate. Exactly, the plane flew away at 1.73 times, a relatively low number. Let's continue with another €5. Alright, we're going to exit as soon as possible again, because I reckon the game hasn't deflated yet. We caught a 1.26 times multiplier, which still gives us a bit of profit. Okay, actually, the multiplier doesn't seem to be stopping early, so in this case, my theory was wrong. Obviously, no one can never be certain. This isn't science but pure theory. However, from extensive play, I've noticed that the game does eventually alternate between big and small multipliers. It has to do this to maintain the correct RTP. However, we don't know exactly when it will happen. It could be one round or another. For instance, the previous round was actually quite long. I continue to exit early since the game hasn't deflated yet, having just produced a medium-sized multiplier. This time I exited with a 1.25 times. So, the pattern recognition strategy is about betting according to how inflated or deflated the game seems to be. If we think it's deflating and therefore low multipliers will come out, we'll place a lower bet, which for me is €5, and exit early. If we think it's inflating and a big multiplier hasn't come out for a while, we'll go with a higher bet of €10 and stay in longer. How much longer? Well, that's the question. The more inflated you think the game is, the longer you stay in. If it's been 10 times that a very small multiplier has come out, then maybe I'd stay in even beyond 5 times. But it also all depends on how much you want to risk. And there we have it, a nice 3.24 times multiplier. €32 in one go, guys. This is a great example because, in this case, I stayed in for quite a while, as there have been a few low multipliers, specifically a 1.66 times before and a 1.55 times even before that, preceded by a medium one and then another 2 small ones. Clearly, I thought the game had to spit out something big, so I dared to stay in a bit longer. Once again, I stayed in long enough, grabbing a nice 2.05 times and making €20. I didn't stay very long because I was undecided if the game was inflated or not. Now, however, I think it's deflating, having had 2 medium multipliers, so I switched to the €5 bet and won't stay in long. I exit with a 1.35 times, taking home just a few cents. Still, we're over €134 in balance, having made some good wins before. Okay, darn it. Here I could have stayed in longer. The multiplier was good, but again, you never know for sure. It's all theory. This strategy can work, but you can also get it very wrong. I tend to prefer playing it safe and exiting earlier, but sometimes one could do the opposite and dare a bit more. I really had to stay in this time though. Look at that multiplier. My goodness, I really got it wrong this time, and it keeps climbing. Darn it, exited at 58 times, guys. We could have made €580 in one round. 580. But then, when would we have known when to exit? Would we have stayed until 57 times? And what if it flew away right at 56? You see, this is the beauty and at the same time the downside of the game. Okay, now I'd say we should stay low since an astronomical multiplier just came out. We exit immediately with a 1.21 times using the €5 bet. But then it keeps rising. Darn, I could have stayed in a bit longer. You see guys, while the system can help us catch the right bet, it's never exact. Alright, we continue with a base bet of €5 because that was a medium multiplier. So in my opinion, it still has to deflate. There you go, it took off immediately. You see that the basic theory can often be noticed in the game's pattern. We just can't predict exactly when these things will happen. Another round staying low. Darn it, it took off again right away. Yes, it's really deflating. Well, this is good. Having had two quite low ones, there's an interesting opportunity coming up. For now, we will stay low though. I think it has to deflate more. Caught it by a whisker. Jackpot. Now, I reckon it started to be quite deflated, having now done 3 very low numbers, so let's go with a €10 bet and stay in a bit longer this round. According to the strategy, now there's a good chance that a nice multiplier is coming. Okay, I still exit quite early because I think it's still too soon to bet big, and we still made €6. Actually, the strategy was right. I could have stayed in a bit longer. Darn, it was a really nice multiplier. I should have followed my gut. Oh well. Okay, but now I have to go back to €5 because having had this multiplier and not being completely deflated in my opinion, it's inflated again. Indeed guys, exited just in time. Okay, another one at €5. Here too, we exit right away. The classic luck at Aviator. That was a nice multiplier. Actually, more than just my usual luck. That's just how the game works. You never know exactly when the big multiplier will come. Darn, this was another pretty big one, huh? Flew away at 11 times. We could have made €110 in one go. But again, the same old story I mentioned earlier. Okay, we still stay low because there's been a high multiplier and now it's deflating. Caught at 1.18 times. And indeed, it flew away rather quickly. Okay, another round. Here too, we exit early, caught at 1.19 times, and indeed, here too it took off quickly. Alright, I'd say the game is quite deflated now. A few low numbers have come out, and according to the theory, the game is deflated, having a chance that something high will come out. Shall we push a bit? A bet of €10 and we stay in a bit longer. Okay, we're still in. And we exit with a 1.95 times, making almost €20 in profit, reaching a balance of €147.60. Alright folks, I think I'll call it a day here. Starting from €75, I've almost doubled my balance to practically €148 in less than 10 minutes. Now, let's talk about the pros and cons of this method. Theoretically, the method is correct. Mathematically, the game has to alternate between high and low multipliers. Aviator has an RNG, an algorithm that must maintain a specific win percentage, so it inevitably alternates highs and lows. If it rolls out many highs, sooner or later it has to release a proportional amount of lows, and vice versa. The downside of the method is that we can't be precise. Okay, we know the game works like this, but we can't know exactly when this happens. The switch from low to high number could happen in this round or the next one, or the one after that, or later. Who knows for sure? So, is it an effective method? In my opinion, yes. It's a good method for knowing where to turn and how to bet. It can be a good map to not get lost in the game and to have fun, but don't expect a precise method with guaranteed win probabilities. Another thing you'll have noticed is that I'm very cautious with this method. I tend to exit rather early and consider it 2 times a big multiplier. As I mentioned, there's also the possibility to play in a more carefree mode, staying in longer, risking more, but potentially winning big multipliers, which is ultimately the fun of this game. Would you like to see me make such a play? If so, comment below the video, make a carefree Aviator video, and I'll grant your wishes. I remind you that in the link in the description, you can find a list of safe and certified online casinos in your country and in each US state. I recommend using certified casinos if you want peace of mind and to avoid scams, rigged games, or even playing in illegal casinos in your country and having trouble with the law. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Christmas is approaching, so I want to take this opportunity to send you my best wishes. since this will be the last video before Christmas. There will be another one just before the new year, and then we're kicking off 2024. January is going to be packed with exciting content, so get ready. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See you soon, ninjas.